Larry Chrisman here from R.L. Chrisman Metalworks. Well, I'm moving on to another project here. I recently discovered, I had never heard about these before, but I recently discovered what they call a fire piston. I had never heard about these until about a month or so ago. And I was kind of curious about them. I did some research online, watched some YouTube videos, read some different articles on them. And it's just a simple way of making fire using compressed air with a cylinder and a piston. Little O-ring here to form a nice tight seal to build up the compression a little better. Piston has a hole in the end of it to put some char cloth in. Which, if you don't know, char cloth is just cotton cloth that's been somewhat burned, but not burned up completely. It will ignite and create an ember very easily. Very, very good tinder. But anyway, I found out about these fire pistons and I thought, well, that's a good handy little gadget to have in the backpack. I want to see if I can make one. I've got all the tools. So anyway, like I said, there's three parts to it: the cylinder, the piston, and the O-ring to create the seal. So let's see if we can make one of these. Well, the first thing I did when I made that one was I selected a couple of pieces of just some scrap aluminum I had laying around. Here's a couple more pieces. We're going to start from scratch here and make one. But anyway, one piece is a little bit longer than the other one. I think I'll use the longer one to make the piston out of, and the shorter one to make the cylinder out of. First off, let's start with the cylinder, and let's clean up the ends on it a little bit. We'll just face the ends, and then we'll see if we can clean up the outside a little bit, bore it, and do some knurling on it. Let's go ahead and drill a center hole in that. Sorry for the dead space in the video there. I had to go get my live center. It was in my other lathe. Anyway, let's turn this piece around. We'll face the other end real quick, and then we'll just turn the outside down a little bit to clean it up. see, I can't go all the way into the chuck here. So what I'm going to do, without changing the setting on my carriage and cross slide here, so I'm going to move the tailstock back out of the way. Move the carriage back down this way. And I'm just going to turn the work around in the chuck here and just clean up the last part of this. And as you can see, that way the diameter of it's the same as the rest of it, but I've got the whole thing cleaned up. Now I'm going to turn it back around here. And I'm just barely putting this in the chuck so that when I do get ready to knurl it, I can go as far as possible here. Actually, I don't want to do that yet. I want to drill the cylinder before I knurl that. So let's move it in a little closer. Drill chuck back in the tail stock here. Now when I originally made the first one, I wanted a 3/8 inch diameter bore on that cylinder for a 3/8 diameter piston and O-ring. And when I went over to my box of drills, my 3/8 bit was dull. Had a chip out of it, and I didn't feel like taking the time to sharpen it at the moment, so I went with a 25/64, the next size bigger. I figured the O-ring would stretch a little bit, maybe I'd be a little easier to get the right size seal on there. So anyway, that's what I did. Before I drill this, I need to find out what the length is on that, because I don't want to drill clear out the other end. Yeah, that's right at 3.5 inches. So let's figure let's just go with about a 3-inch cylinder. Some of the research I did online is some of the people were saying a 3-inch or actually a 4 to 4.5 inch cylinder seems to work pretty good. Like I said, that first one I made, I used this 3-inch length, and it does work, so we'll just go with that. Anyway, let's go ahead and drill this thing. Backed up my quill too much. My drill chuck came loose. Anyway, let's clean that hole out a little bit. Now, if all my calculations are correct, it should be about a 3-inch deep hole. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to make the piston fit it anyway. But let's see what we've got here. Now that's actually 2 3/4. Let's see if we can take another 1/4 inch out of it here. Okay, what I've done here, I've just taken a piece of drill rod. I happen to have it here. It's a little smaller than the bore. You could use a dowel or whatever. I taped a piece of 600 grit sandpaper on here, wet dry sandpaper, and I'm just going to use it to kind of hone that a little bit. I'll put a little oil in here. should be good enough. That's more than I honed the cylinder on the first one that I made, and it works. So that should be good enough. Bring that out a little bit. Okay, I want to chamfer the end of that hole a little bit, that bore, cylinder bore. I just put in a little bit larger drill bit. This one's a 7/16, so it's bigger than the bore. I'm just going to use it to chamfer this real quick. Alright, let me get set up here to knurl this, and I'll be right back with you.